Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me for your core work today. All you need is a mat and a little space to move, and we'll get started. Let's roll the shoulders back, really thinking about realigning our posture as we go through these moves. And let's change direction, go the other way. Good, standing nice and tall. I want you to think about taking your nose down towards the ground, and it's gonna lead each of your vertebrae down towards the ground. Nice soft knee here, and once you get towards the ground, just let everything hang, let your neck go. And then really think about using your core to start tightening up as you come up to a standing position, working to reset each one of those vertebrae, standing nice and tall. Good, let's do it again. Back down towards the ground. From here, re-engaging everything to stand up nice and tall. Good, we're gonna do that one more time, but this time I want you to come all the way down to the ground. And once you're there, I want you to bring yourself forward and into a tabletop position. So that means that our shoulder and wrist are in alignment, and our knees and our hips are in alignment. From here, I want you to take one hand, open up towards the ceiling, allowing that little spinal twist, and coming back down to the ground, opening up the other way, and coming back down. Let's do one more on each side. Really think about opening up and allowing the spine to turn so that you can face up towards the ceiling. Good. Realign yourself right here and then bring yourself to a seated position. I want you to sit nice and tall, and we're going to take our time to lay back down onto that mat. So slowly bringing yourself down, allowing the pelvis to round out a little bit so that you can come down to the ground. Reach your hands overhead and then bring yourself up to a seated position. Now, this move that we're doing right here is going to be how we initiate our first part of this workout. So keep moving through this, but let me show you what we're gonna do next. We're gonna bring it to here and back down to our mat. It's just a nice little sit-up, except you go to one side and you flip over. So if you're with me, I want you to join me to do a minute of these. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Take those hands to one side. Really tighten the core to help flip over into that tabletop position. From here, bring yourself back down. Now control the reset. Let's go to the other side. Bring it all the way up. Hands plant on the ground to that tabletop. Bringing it back around. And lay it back down. Really take your time. This is not about speed or how many reps you can get in. It's about moving from ground to kind of getting up onto your hands. Nice big sit up, flip over into that tabletop. Take a second here before you reset. Good. We're gonna come up into our tabletop. This time, I want you to stay in this tabletop, right here. And now I want you to drop your knees down. Take a look, we're switching it up. I want you to reach, pull into the knee, reach out again, and reset. Come with me on the other side. Pull in, push back out, and reset. Now look, as I do this, I'm gonna really squeeze to bring elbow and knee together and really push to extend back out. So I'm creating my own resistance. I'm pulling and I'm pushing to add a little bit more to this move. Make sure you're breathing and make sure you're not letting yourself get back here. Stay over those hands. Reset, keep going. We've got a little break coming up soon. I want you to push back into a child's pose. Take a little rest right here. Drop that down nice and low. We've got another 20 seconds before we repeat both of those exercises. So take a little bit right here. And when you're ready, you can push forward, come back around to that seated position. And we're gonna go back to that over to tabletop move. So join me down here. Here we go. Sit it up and bring it over to tabletop. Bring it back down to the mat, but control it as you reset back down. Bring yourself up, really controlled sit up into the tabletop. Reset back down. Not about speed, it's about control. And making sure that we're able to get ourselves up off the ground. I don't know about you, but if you've ever been cross-country skiing and fallen in the snow, it's really handy to be able to get up off the ground. Good, keep this going. On your next one, I want you to come up and find that tabletop position. Right here, hover those knees, and now set them down and switch to that extension, that pull in, big extension, and reset. I want you to feel as if you're moving through wet cement. You have to really pull and push through the air to get this. Just to give it a little bit of extra resistance as you're moving through these. Nice long spine here. Try not to look like this the whole time. Look forward a little bit. Really squeeze. Going at your own pace here, and knowing that in 10 seconds, you're gonna get to go to child's pose again. Keep breathing, and sit back into that child's pose right here. Take some time right here. Open your knees a little wider if you need to help drop down into this. Good, take a big deep breath. Push forward and bring yourself to a seated position again. Reset really tall. Elongate that spine. We've got some time here where we're gonna take a little reset. So that means I want you to work on posture. If you need a little break, you can round it out a little, but I want you to sit really tall. I want you to walk your heels forward, bring your legs all the way down. Don't get any shorter, stay tall. Bring those feet back up. Keep this engaged. Bring this back up. Little posture reset, let it go. Reset, keeping it as long as you can through the body without this happening. Bring it up here. Good, lower that back down. And here, take a little rest, let it go for a second, because we have some new exercises to do. We're gonna do boat pose, followed by rock the boat, followed by rolling like a ball. Sounds great, right? I need you to come back here with me. Both hands above your head, both feet are lifted. If you can, bring that upper body off the mat. You can have bent leg here or straight, but don't let your back arch. I want you to hold this sort of boat shape or this half moon shape, bent or straight leg. We're gonna stay here for another 10 seconds. Once we get rolling, it's gonna look like this. We're gonna rock it up and rock it back down. Join me, come up and back down. If this is a little too intense, you're gonna bend the knees and come back down. Keep it in this small range of motion. And I want you to think about, there's a little bit of momentum to sit you up, but it's super controlled on the way down. Our next exercise, we're gonna extend this a little bit. We're gonna come all the way up. So join me, come rock all the way back, rock all the way up and break. Rock all the way back. Put on the brakes. Bring your knees in a little closer. Take away some of that momentum and see if you can still sit up. Don't let yourself get stuck down here. Round out the back, create a little bit of momentum, and just roll, using your core as a braking system. And take a little rest right here. You've got a little reset right here because we're gonna go back to that boat pose, rock the boat, and rolling like a ball. But you've got a little time right here, so let everything reset. Take a second to catch your breath. We're gonna get the hardest one done and out of the way again. That static hold, that's the toughest one. So we're going to reset. Core is anchored in. We're gonna lift both of our hands, both of our feet, and then we're gonna bring it to that boat shaped. Remember, you can extend or you can stay right here. This is a static hold. I'm trying to lift my shoulder blades off the ground. I'm pulling in so that everything is anchored right here. Straight leg. Now look, if you're straight leg and your back is arching off the ground, I want you to reset, bring your feet a little higher. We want to keep everything anchored right here. Okay, a little bit of a rock. Just a little rock right here. If you need to, rest your head in your hands. You're doing the same movement, just resting your head. If you're doing this right and you're controlling your reset on the way down, you're gonna feel this pretty intensely right here. But it's okay, we're gonna get bigger. We're gonna use momentum, and we're gonna make this bigger in 3, 2, 1. Roll it like a ball. Try to keep your knees in a little closer and use your lower abs to help pull yourself to a seated position. And if that's a little too tough, let go and let your legs pull you up. Your choice. All controlled from right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that rest again. And we move on to our next exercises. We're gonna go into a plank series next. So you've got about another 10 seconds before we have to start prepping for a nice tall plank. I'm gonna get up and show you what we're doing. We're gonna be in this nice tall plank right here. It is a static hold. We're not up here and we're not down here. You ready? Join me in this plank. Now, as I'm planking, there's a few things that I want you to focus on. We're not sinking into the shoulders. We're not piking. But the other thing I want you to do is pay attention to your legs. Are they doing anything to help you out? Straighten them and pull your kneecaps up towards your thigh. Really strengthen that leg and keep a nice, beautiful plank right here. We're gonna change this up. Join me by piking and touching your toe. So now you are allowed to pike. I want you to squeeze the lower abs, reach for your toe. Each time you lift your hips, squeeze a little bit more. Resetting to that plank each time. Nice strong shoulder, strong back. Don't let it reset to here. Lift and squeeze the lower abs. Come back to a static hold plank right here. Now, if this is too intense, drop those knees. Don't disengage your core. Keep everything nice and tight and anchored. But there are options. Check your knees. Make them strong. Legs need to help out here. We're gonna change it up again. Keep holding your plank, but look what's next. Bend your knees and come to the side. Back to plank. Join me. Bend your knees and come to the side. Back to plank. Good. Keep this going. Really working on lifting through the shoulder. Don't let it sink down. Alternating sides. Keeping it nice and strong through the core. One more challenge for you. Come back to that plank. Again, go to those knees if you need to. We're getting close to the finish line. You choose where you need to go. This is the toughest part of this series yet. Remember, we don't want those hips getting up here. Push forward so that your shoulder is over top of your wrist. We're gonna go back to that toe touch. Join me right here. Now, if you need to take a rest at any point, push yourself back into that child's pose. Take your time here. Again, not about speed, it's about control. Really reaching for those toes by piking the hips, squeezing to pike the hips to the ceiling. Option for your next interval, you can go into child's pose or you can go into that plank. You choose. Options right here. We've got to finish this off with that twisting plank. That's all we have left to do is that twisting plank. So keep on your palms. Don't let it get back here. We're gonna finish this off with that little side twisting plank. In 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees and let it twist. Come back. Bend your knees and come back. We're really close, guys. Hang right here with me. Keep it lifted right here. Don't let it sag. 3, 2, 1. Push back into this child's pose. Take a second right here. Allow yourself to really rest into that mat. Widen your knees a little and allow your rib cage to come down closer to the ground. Take a big deep breath, blow it away, and then come back into that tabletop. Knees are on the ground. We're gonna take one hand and we're gonna scoop through, dropping down to the ground, allowing the back to have a little bit of a stretch here. Good, and coming back up to that tabletop. Other hand, drop it down. Good, and back up. Bring one foot forward. Just a little stretch through the lower half of the body. Take your hand that's on the outside of your foot. Bring it up towards the ceiling. Releasing that down and switching for the other foot. Right here, pushing forward. And taking that hand that's on the outside of the foot, bringing it up to the ceiling. And resetting that down, replacing that foot. This time tucking your toes under, lift up and start to walk your hands towards your feet. Right here, let it go again. Give your neck a little shake out, let your shoulders go. And then slowly starting to reset to that tall posture again. One vertebrae at a time, coming up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back, and you are done. Thank you for joining me for your core work today. I hope that I'm going to see you again really soon.